Okay, I'm just gonna start recording, and I'm sorry in advance for the poor lighting. It's like 9:30 here almost, and both of my kids are asleep. So, uh, checking, testing that y'all can hear me. The TV background's not too loud. The fans aren't too loud. Okay, see now thumbs up. So I'm hoping it's cool. If y'all get like annoyed with the fans or whatever, let me know, and I can turn them down. So don't feel worried about that. But who's excited to be here? Thank you guys so much for having your cameras on and for taking the time out of your night, per usual, to get on this. I know that we all have a lot going on, and I just want to recognize each of you for hopping on this and for dedicating the time to be here, because I know that it's not always easy. I know that it's not always something that you necessarily like look forward to. Some of you do, I know. But I just love these, and I love seeing your faces. I feel like it's what connects us a ton as a team and makes me feel connected to you guys, because when we go without these, I feel really like disconnected and distant and just like, oh my gosh, I don't know where everybody's heads at. Not like awkward if I have that like shining on me. I just feel like it's like so dark in here, and don't mind my brushing here. But okay. So thank you. I'm just gonna open up the chat so that I can see this while we go. So there's a couple things that we're gonna be talking about tonight. But the very first thing that I wanted to talk about is this quote that I saw earlier. Y'all know I love opening with a quote because I just feel like it puts us all in such a good headspace. I feel like it's something that just starts the conversation off right. So it's a quote by John C. Maxwell. He has just been like on the forefront of my mind recently, because leadership is something that I'm always like evolutionizing in, and something that I always want our team to be improving on. And it's a lot of where I get my inspiration. He just like really speaks to me. So he says the difference between average people and achieving people is their perception of and response to failure. And I feel like that hit home so hard for me, especially after watching the Tony Robbins event today, because failure is inevitable. And failure is something that we are always going to go through in life, not only in this business, but just in the day to day. And we are going to fail more than one time. And we always hear that like stupid cliche saying, like fail forward. But that is because we understand that failure is a part of the process to success, or with success, right? And so with success comes a lot of failure. There comes a lot of defeat. There comes a lot of like self-limiting beliefs and messing up. And especially in this business, like dealing with, frustrated customers, or customers canceling, or distributors not working, or like you fill in the blank, right? There's just so much failure. And that's not a bad thing. And I don't know about y'all, but like the way that I grew up, especially, I was conditioned to believe that failure meant that I was failing, meant that I was a failure. Drop a one if you relate to that. But failure is not an identity. Failure does not mean that I have failed. Failure just means that I didn't do what I wanted to do, or I didn't succeed like I thought I would succeed in something. And that to me defines failure. So just like we define success, or we define, succeeding at this business, we define failure. And I have not defined that for you. No one else has defined that for you. You define that for yourself. And when you start to realize that failure is a part of the process to success, you start gaining a different perspective on the definition of that for you. And my definition of failure now looks a lot different than it did in the beginning of this business. In the beginning of this business, failure to me meant not enrolling a single customer. Failure to me meant letting down my family, right? Or not making my money back, or this business not doing what I thought it was going to do for me. And now failure looks like not hitting my goals, or letting you guys down, right? Like it's along the same line, but it looks so different. So I want you guys to kind of have that in the back of your mind as we go on to talk about tonight, because it's just so crazy. I'm going to read it again. The difference between average people and achieving people is their perception of and response to failure. So, achieving people are those who are hitting the ranks that we want to hit, who are doing the things that we want to do, who are getting the things that we want to do. And average people are those who aren't, and who are complacent, and who are staying where they don't want to be, right? Because they're afraid of failure, or they identify as failure when they go through it, right? So those are two completely different things. But I want to know really quickly in the chat, who hopped on the Tony Robbins, and I forget the other guy's name, like Dean something, Dean G. I'm terrible with names, y'all. But I literally was shook. Like, my Wi-Fi went out because we had a really, really bad, like my service went out because we had a really bad thunderstorm here today. So I didn't get to watch the whole event. But as I go through this, if you guys were on that and you have notes that you want to share, or you have like aha moments that you just like want to share, please put them in the chat and I'll either go over them at the end, or I will ask you guys to share those. And if you haven't, that's okay. The replay was posted, so you can always go back and watch the replay. And it's a 5-day event. So it started today. We obviously have 4 more days left. And it was incredible. Like, when we see all the things, or when we watch self-development from like Ed Milet, or from Tony Robbins, or Lori Harder, or whatever you decide to watch, Lewis Holmes, it was literally like paying for a $15,000 course and getting it for free. So if you haven't done that yet, or you like need to enroll, please do, because it's so good. Okay, so I'm going to move on a little bit from that, but I wanted to talk about, and I'm going to pull up the post. First of all, Kiana, I really appreciate you reaching out to me earlier before I kind of get into this, asking me where my head is at, because it kind of put me in check about how I've been feeling in the last couple days. And it's kind of crazy because when she asked me, I was like, I could like small talk this and be like, oh, like, I'm good, like things are crazy, but whatever, and I was like totally brutally honest. And I was like, honestly, like, life is throwing me curveballs. And after, it's like one thing after another, where I just feel like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, when am I going to catch a break? Honestly. And if you're on the leadership calls with Rochelle, which is super easy to get on, you literally just have to have an auto ship going every month and to be enrolling. And if you're like showing up and actively trying to be a better leader, and actively trying to, do all the things that you need to do for your business, you'll be on that call. So just keep doing what you're doing if you're not on it already. But it was so funny because she was talking about, and I shared a little bit of this on my live in the push page this morning, but she was talking about all the things that Brian and her are going through, and how she just, like, same with me, like, feels like she can't catch a break. And I want you guys to drop in the chat if you feel like that's been you. Like, you're just like, life has been hitting me in the face with their BALLS, right? Like, I feel like it's just slapping me. And I don't know how to react to it. And everything that I got from our Zoom last night, like, obviously I got so many aha moments and so many breakthroughs, but the biggest one for me is that you have to be prepared for anything as a leader, as a wife, as a mom, as a woman, whether you have a spouse or kids or not. Like, you have to be prepared, because, and I don't even mean like prepare in like preparation, I just mean expecting those things to come and knowing that life is going to happen and that you're never going to stop that. Because for me personally, I feel like I'm constantly looking for that, like, when life is going to slow down moment, right? And like, okay, when life slows down, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to work twice as hard in my business, or I'm going to, go take my kids to do this, or Connor and I are going to do this. But the reality is that life is never going to stop. And life is never going to stop throwing you curveballs. And things are constantly going to be coming up that you're like, shit. You know what I mean? It's just like, I have never had a slow down moment in my life. And if there's one thing that I've learned is that that's never going to change. Whether I'm 80 years old or I'm 25, it's not going to slow down. So as business owners and as leaders, we need to take a step back, take a breather, do what we need to do, and get it done. Because as moms and as business owners, we have to show our team, our kids, our family, our husbands, everyone else around us that you have to keep going, especially when shit gets hard. And I just recorded a podcast on perseverance. And about the second that you feel like giving up, the second that you feel like stopping during that workout because you're tired, or stopping sending messages because you're tired, or stopping doing, like, fill in the blank, right? The second you want to give up is when you need to persevere, because that is where the breakthrough lies. Not before, not after, right there. It's like a sweet spot. It's like this little hidden magic piece where your promotion, your breakthrough with your kids, your leveling up with your husband, whatever it is, you are going to have a massive breakthrough when you keep going. And you guys, I took quitting off the table a long time ago in my business. And if you haven't already, I highly encourage you to do that. I'm not saying not take a step back. I'm not saying not take breathers or not take Sabbaths. What I'm saying is quit. Because the only way to fail is to quit, and not just in this business, in life. The only way to fail is to quit. And I mean fail, right? So she was talking about leadership and about how, and I said this to you guys on our last leadership Zoom, leaders are the first ones to show up and the last ones to leave. And we are also the ones to persevere through hard times. And when we do that, that's when all the good things come. So it was kind of funny because on this Tony Robbins, like Own Your Future Challenge 5-day event that we're doing, they have like a Facebook group. And so obviously I asked to join. And if you haven't yet and you're on the challenge, please do this. But someone posted, what does being a leader mean to you? And there's like literally thousands of comments, you guys. But I want to read you a couple, because just like we, envision our perfect distributor or our perfect spouse or our perfect like behavior of our kids or whatever, like we have this idea of perfection. But I want to read to you how like versatile these are. And not only that, but I want you to really get a good idea of what being a good leader means. And I know that this isn't a leadership call, but this is one of the things in this business that I personally feel like no one prepares you for, right? And no one like understands how difficult it is. And leadership is not an easy task. And it's really hard, especially for all of us who go through a 9-to-5 and feeling this like managerial aspect. Even if you're not a manager, you see what how managers act, right? How they respond to things, how they speak to their employees, how they handle certain situations. And it is like almost a complete 180 from being a manager to a leader. And especially those of us who are working or have worked 9-to-5s, it's really hard. And that's a certain breakthrough of like getting over that hump of managing people to leading people. And it is so different. And again, it's something that no one can possibly prepare you for in this business. So I'm going to read a couple of these. A leader is someone who can see how things can be improved and who rallies people to move toward that better vision. A leader is someone who is a good communicator. A leader is someone who puts other people before themselves. A leader sets a good example. A leader has empathy and clarity, doing what is left to be done and picking up the pieces from others, having plenty of problems to solve, but not time to complain, an inclusive attitude, influencing people to take action when I want them to or when they want them to, just like Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, and Bill Gates. What being a leader means to me is taking accountability for your team's success. How hard does that hit home? Taking responsibility for your team's success. Let's see, some of these are kind of weird. Helping someone reach their best potential and teaching them to be a leader. Leading by example, not words and talk. Walk the walk. Right? Do you see what I'm saying? Having moral character, someone who tries their best. They mess up because they're human, but shows how to grow through their examples. That's kind of weird, but you get what they're saying. Has a solution mindset, right? So these are all the things, and I want you to start thinking about while we're talking about this, like, what does a leader look like to you? If there's someone who you look up to in this business, what does that look like to you? So as I kind of go into my next point, I want all of these things that I just talked about to be like in the back of your mind while we're talking about this. But I want to know, number one, if you haven't hit the rank that you want to hit yet, or number two, if you have gotten to a certain rank and fallen and feel like you can't ever get back. I want to know. So just drop like a 2 if that resonates with you, because like me, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, right? We were a double diamond team. We aren't right now, and that's okay. And we're pushing for diamonds or triple diamonds, and you know, shoes all the way. Okay, I love seeing it. So what this shows me, and what it should show you as a business owner, is that it's time to pivot. And this topic has been on almost all the Zooms that I've listened to recently. It was on the Tony Robbins challenge today. It's like literally everything that I've been hearing: pivot, 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 right? And I had to really think hard about what pivoting in this business looks like, and not just in my personal business, but in this team, and what we need to be doing differently, and what we can improve on, and the things that we could be doing better. But as a business owner, it's so important to know when you need to pivot. And a really good sign is when you feel like quitting, when you feel like giving up because your goal feels too far ahead, or you don't know how you're going to get there, or you feel burnt out. That is when you have to pivot, because whatever you're doing isn't working, right? When you're sending the same message and it's not getting any replies, pivot. When you're putting a hap up and you're not getting any responses, pivot. When you're listening to a self-development book and it's not lighting your soul on fire, pivot. When you're in an abusive relationship and you feel like you can't get out, or you don't know what to do, pivot. It doesn't have to just be about this business, y'all. It's about life. If you don't like your living situation, if you feel like your family's toxic, if you feel like your job isn't working out, pivot, 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 pivot. That doesn't mean quit. Quitting is easy. And we're not quitters on this team, right? So the things that came up for me, and I want you, when I'm saying this to you, I want you to drop in the chat what pivoting looks like to you. When I say pivot in your business or pivot in your life, what is the first thing that comes to mind? Because it isn't something that you should be thinking too hard about. When I'm talking about this, what are the first things that are like, yes, 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 you know what I mean? So for me, that meant changing up my lifestyle, right? Y'all know I've been trying to do 75-day hard, and I've been doing my freaking best, y'all, but god damn, it's hard. It is the most self-discipline I've ever had to put myself through in this entire planet, okay? Y'all know I love beer and wine. It is one of the hardest things for me to give up. Working out 2 times a day, really hard for me. Drinking a gallon of water, really hard for me, okay? This is like something that I am having to overcome, and I'll get there. I will get there, because I know that I have the grit, and I know I have the determination. It's just going to take time, and it's going to take me trying and trying and trying and trying until I'm successful at it. But I'm having to pivot, right? And in my business, it looks like, okay, I steered away from hacks. Why? Because I lost my Facebook. Okay, well, now Facebook is back, so why am I not doing them again? Well, because I'm just like sharing what is on my heart, or like what came up when I was first thinking about this, and the thoughts that were rattling off in my mind. Well, when I put up a post about the giveaway, I'm not getting comments. Okay, but are you messaging to them? No. Okay, pivot, right? Okay, I'm not getting as many enrollments as I would like to do. So I start thinking about the root. And that's the other thing that I want you to start thinking about as I'm talking about these things. What's the root of all of it? Because you're going to have a million thoughts, and you got to get to the very bottom of why this is happening, or why you're feeling this way, or why you're not getting the results that you want, right? So I'm going through all these things. I'm not enrolling. I am enrolling, but not as much as I would like to. Okay, are you, and I kept going, this and this and this and this. Yes, I'm posting. Yes, I'm doing this. Yes, I'm doing that. Okay, there are two things that I could be doing more of that I'm not doing already, because I listened to a hell of a lot of self-development. I'm taking care of myself the best that I can. I'm putting my family and God first. I'm doing the thing. But what am I not doing? I'm not messaging enough. I'm not doing enough taps. I am not being consistent enough. How many of you struggle with that? Consistency, right? So I promise, I know I'm jumping all over the place, but at the end of this, I'll kind of wrap it back up, because everything that I'm talking about right now is leading into what you guys are struggling with that you put on that post today. Okay, the other thing that they were talking about on the event today is being creative, right? When was the last time that we hosted an opportunity event? If you're new, you probably don't even know what those are, because we haven't done one in a really long ass time. And if you aren't new, you know we haven't done one of these in a really long ass time, right? Okay, that's a pivot. That's something that we could be doing again, especially because everything is virtual. Well, guess what? Amber Parker does one like all the time. Why am I not inviting my potentials to it? I don't know. Pivot. Being creative, coming up with different ways. Nat and I, if you guys remember, those of you seasoned distributors, those are you who are newbies, listen up. Like Nat and I got so creative before COVID hit. We created jars. We put them in restaurants and in boutiques and all the things that we could possibly think of for a spa giveaway, which is essentially a wrap party. And we were going to people's houses, and we were just like doing an event. For me now, that looks like Bumble BFF. And getting together and creating new connections. It's not about selling the products or selling the opportunity. It's about creating genuine connections, right? Being creative. Like I'm just thinking about all the things as I think about pivoting and what we can be doing better. And I know I keep saying that word, but it's so relative to me right now. And that's kind of my like motto for this month is the word pivot. And so I'm learning how to be creative again in my business, because as much as we can message, we are limited to the algorithm. We are limited to a certain extent with the things that we can do on social, right? And that's not a bad thing. Like we need to use social to its fullest extent. But at the same time, there's so many things that we could be doing outside of that we're not even thinking. When was the last time you guys sold a sample? I can tell you it's been a long ass time for me, and that's quick cash on hand. And that's an almost immediate loyal customer once they get and try the product. Literally 4 out of 5 people that I sell a product to end up becoming a loyal customer, or sell a sample to, excuse me. And that is now Sleepy Tea and Skinny Brew. And just little word of the wise, we're going to have more products eventually. Okay, so it's these two for now, but I'm more than positive that we will have more eventually. But like, think about that, because we've always said it works, right? Pun intended. And when we get the products in people's hands and they're able to try them, they will become a customer. Okay, so quick cash on hand. Like I'm thinking about all the things. Wow, the things that we stopped doing, the things that we need to do, right? TikToks and Reels are taking over, and we need to be utilizing them. Okay, the other thing that they talked about is not getting stuck in the tyranny of how, right? We think about how are we possibly going to reach this goal? How am I possibly going to send 100 messages a day? Drop a 3 if you've ever felt like this, or like, man, this goal is just so big and I don't know how I'm going to accomplish it. But it's not about the how. And I was so reminded of this today, because The how is going to come naturally. And Rochelle talked about it yet again. I'm going to refer back to her Zoom last night of letting it up to God. And whether you believe in God or not, fill in the blank for whatever you believe or don't believe, but just like letting it up, letting it go, knowing it's already done. It's already done. Your promotion, already done. The car you want, already done. The house you want, already done. The freedom of time, already done. The kids that you want, already done, sis. And you're so worried about how you're going to get there that you get so paralyzed that you're not taking the action to actually get it done. And I was listening to a podcast last night when I was taking Otis on a walk, and it was Breaking Butterfly, and she was talking about manifestation. And she said, there's a huge misconception when people talk about manifestation because they immediately think of the law of attraction. And the law of attraction is only one of 12 pieces to manifestation. Journaling about it, writing about it, talking about it, saying it out loud, imagining it, picturing it, meditation, right? The law of attraction is so huge, and I truly am a believer of this. But you can't just think about manifesting $1 million and not do anything about it and expect $1 million to land in your lap, right? That's not reality. It's not just going to poof out of your butthole one day and you're like, wow, I'm a millionaire now. You know what I'm saying? I like to bring a little humor so I can see your guys' smiles. Are you all still awake? Are you all still with me? Okay. But you have to have the inspired action behind it. And if you don't, it's not going to get there, right? So it's about your why. Why do you want that new car? The way that it's going to make you feel, the fact that you and your family will be safe driving it, the fact that it's actually not going to break down from point A to point B, or the house because you'll actually have space for you and your kids and your husband and your new car in the garage. Can I hear an amen? Like, I need some personal space, y'all. Okay, like I need me time. I need to be able to go take a shower and not hear my kids screaming in the other room. I need to be in a safe place. I need to be able to feel like I can go in a room and cry to myself if I need to because I'm having a bad day, or to jump up and down because I'm having an amazing day and I want to celebrate with y'all, right? So it's not about the how, it's about the why. And I really wanted to remind you guys of that tonight because I personally get so caught up in my thoughts about my goals because they seem so huge and scary. But that's how I know they're big enough. Because if they didn't scare the shit out of me, I would be complacent. And I want to share that with you because I don't want you to be complacent. If you feel comfortable with your goals right now, they're not big enough. They're not big enough. If it seems hard, but they don't scare you, it is not big enough. So if you have a Ruby chart out and you're like, damn, that seems kind of hard. You pull a diamond chart out and that makes you want to poop your pants, that's big enough. You know what I'm saying? Right? So whatever scares you, scare yourself into that because you are so worthy. You're so worthy and so capable. And you are able to manifest that. You have to do the work. You have to do it. Okay, I'm gonna again, totally wrap this up. So don't get lost in all of the 6 things that I've brought up so far because they all intertwine, I promise. But the other thing that they brought up today that I was shooketh with was selling versus serving. Do you feel like you are selling your network on the opportunity or the product? Do you feel like you're selling every day? Because if the answer is yes, that's okay. And you don't need to be ashamed about that. Been there. But you have to shift your perspective to serving. Because when you are serving those around you, that is your breakthrough. I'll just put it in the face. When you feel like you're selling products, you're going to feel annoying. You're going to feel like all of those self-limiting beliefs. No one wants this. No one wants to join this opportunity. No one needs these products, right? No, everyone needs these products. You are serving those who have been dying to lose 60 pounds and can't, and their only other option is freaking surgery or going on a walk every day and swallowing a freaking plant-based vitamin because we can have them do that. We have that opportunity to give them, and they can drop 30 pounds over the next 90 days because it's clinically proven, right? You're serving them. You're not selling them anything. Same with the opportunity. You're not selling this opportunity. You're not trying to get people to join your team. You are giving someone else the ability to have financial freedom. Remember where you started. Remember why you started this. Because I guarantee you, we were all on our knees groveling, begging for something to save us, begging for the vehicle that was going to give us the life that we always desired. And whether you're there or not yet doesn't matter, because you will be there one day, because you are going to manifest that shit. And I believe in every single one of you that you are going to get it done. But it's a decision. It's a commitment. It's self-discipline. It's pushing those thoughts aside. And when you have things come up like, this is too hard, literally say to yourself, I'm choosing not to believe this right now. Nothing worth having is easy, and I know I'm doing the work. I know I'm doing the work to get there. And it's about that consistency, right? So if you feel like you're selling something, or you feel like you're just selling products, no, you're serving. You're serving those around you. You're serving your community. You're serving your network. And Tony Robbins talks about this on his, challenge today of like, I truly feel like I am serving people with my knowledge. And I'm not an expert, he says, which is hilarious because he's the number one, like, literal self-development influencer, like, best guy ever on the planet. And he feels like he's serving people. You guys know how much it costs to go to one of his seminars? Literally like tens of thousands of dollars. And that is because he knows his worth. So what if you thought of it like that? You're serving people around you. Therefore, you are worthy of a double diamond paycheck because you are providing that much value. You are worthy of that $8,000 a month because you are helping someone go diamond and come home to their kids. You're helping someone go emerald and be able to pay for everything in cash. You're helping 4 people go ruby, 6 people go ruby, which means they now don't have to cry themselves to sleep every night because they can actually buy their kids diapers. You are serving these people. Therefore, you earned that paycheck because that's the value you're providing. Do you see the difference of perspective between selling and serving? You're not selling shit. You're providing an opportunity for a better lifestyle for these people, right? So I'm going to pull up what you guys are struggling with so that I can cover some of them. But while I'm doing this, will you guys drop like some of your aha moments that you've had either on the Tony Robbins Zoom or like the Tony Robbins event, or even just like what we're talking about tonight? Like, wow, that really hit me. Wow, that shook me. Like, what was the one-liner that you were like, that was it. That was what I needed to hear as I'm pulling this up. And again, it doesn't have to be from right now. It could. That's great. Or something that you've heard on the Tony Robbins event. It's hard. 3 is good. Not selling, but serving. Yes. Love it. Love it. Good. I'm glad. And the other thing that I want to remind you guys when we talk about manifestation, I really love, and maybe this is just me, but I love the Amazon cart metaphor. And if you guys have heard me talk about this before, you're like, yes. If you haven't, I'm about to blow your mind. Okay. So I'm just using double diamond as an example because I know that that's so many of your goals, right? Is eventually a double diamond paycheck. Like, holla in the chat if that's you, right? $6,000 to $8,000 a month. Who wants that to be you? Claim it in this chat, boo. Let's go. Okay. So when we talk about that, I want you guys to think about the fact, oh shit, I just totally lost my train of thought. What did I say right before that? Someone remind me. Right before I was talking about double diamonds. Shoot. Amazon cart. Thank you. Okay, so thank you guys. This is why I have you. Okay, thank you. Okay, so you want double diamonds, right? So you're putting that shit in your cart right now. Let's go. That is in your cart. What do you have to do to be able to a double diamond leader? What does a double diamond leader do? And if you don't know, I'm about to tell y'all because been there. We were a double diamond team. Okay, that means a shitload of self development, a lot of growth up here and right here. Not the work. It's all about these, all about it. How many people can you serve, not sell? How many people? It is literally a numbers game, you guys. However many people you talk to per day, how many new potentials you get, that is how many people you need to serve. So if you are putting things in your cart, like, wow, this is really hard. Wow, I'm working so much and I'm not getting any results. Wow, no one is replying to me. Guess what? All of that getting in your cart, in your cart, in your cart, in your cart, you're adding. It's like you're literally going down the list. I'm adding this to my cart. I'm adding that to my cart. I'm adding the fact that no one wants to work in my cart. I'm adding the fact that every single distributor I sign up never works. I'm adding the fact that every single loyal customer I sign up ends up canceling. I'm putting in my cart the fact that I feel like shit every day, or I'm tired every day, or my kids are crazy so I can't get things done, or I feel like 100 messages is too much. What are you putting in your cart? Because guess what? The second that you put that in your cart, the universe goes, okay, check out and ship. And that's what you just got. Imagine what it would look like if you were putting in your cart, AKA journaling, using the law of attraction and taking inspired action. I'm sending 100 messages a day and I know I'm going to get good replies. I'm putting a post up every single day because I know someone is watching me. I am worthy of a double diamond paycheck because I am serving those around me with value. Every single customer that I enroll stays with me for a long time, lifelong customer, because they get amazing results with these products. Every single customer that I enroll refers me to someone they know. I am worthy and I have earned a $6,000 paycheck with It Works. I am paying in cash for my groceries and the person behind me in line, their groceries. I am paying for my Starbucks and the person behind me Starbucks. I am sending my team gifts because they're killing it. My team is a mass enrolling team. The universe goes, send, 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 right? So I really want you guys to think about what you're putting in your cart. And if you're getting everything that you're asking for. And I heard this on a David Goggins podcast a while ago, but I really want us to get back to this. We did a challenge like probably 6 months or a year ago. And if you've been here a while, you know what I'm talking about. But if you don't, that's okay. We're going to be doing it again. Not a negative thing is coming out of your mouth this month for the rest of the month. Not a negative word. Not a single one. And the second you have that thought of, wow, no one's replying to me, or wow, this person was so mean to me, or oh my gosh, this customer's canceling, that must mean that every single one of my customers wants to cancel, so therefore I'm screwed. Or no one's putting hats up for me, or whatever it is. I'm choosing not to believe this right now. I see you, and you're going to stay over there while I finish sending my messages. Because I'm putting in my cart right now that someone's enrolling with me today. And whether they enroll with you today or not is so beyond the point. It's so beyond the point. It's the fact that you are getting everything you're asking for. And if you don't like your situation right now, you asked for it. And that's a hard reality check even for me, because y'all, I'm not where I want to be. I don't have everything I want to have. I don't. Wish I did. My life may look perfect on the outside, but y'all, it's not. And there are so many things that I'm going through, both mental health, personally, family, financially. There are so many things that I want differently. But the reason that we are all here where we are today is because we freaking asked for it. So when we change our perspective and we start changing what we're asking for, things change, especially when you put the inspired action behind it, right? Because manifesting is just the first piece. And then when you take that inspired action, the universe is like, boo, you're ready for this. And then life slaps you in the face again. But guess what? Before we moved to Texas, I had one of these aha moments. And it's happened to me a million times, even since being here. When you ask for big things, big, bad things are going to happen. That is reality. Because the universe wants to know how big your cojones are. You're asking for some big stuff, sis. I was asking for debt free. I was asking for an actual savings account for the first time in my freaking life. I was asking to move across the country. I was asking to start a new life here. And the universe said, buckle up. Because if we're going to do this, you're going to have a lot of shit to handle. Can you handle it? When you start asking for a ruby paycheck, an emerald paycheck, a diamond paycheck, that's way bigger than where you're at now. So the universe, the devil, God, whatever you want to say, fill in the blank, is going to start coming at you. And you are going to have obstacles. And your kids are going to get sick. Or you're going to go through a divorce or a breakup. Or your car is going to break down. Or you're going to get evicted. And you're going to feel like your whole life is literally falling apart. You're going to feel like everything that you're doing was not worth shit. But if you give up, remember I was talking about perseverance, about giving up, that's the time. That's the difference between the 1% and those who are average and those who achieve. When you feel like giving up because it gets too hard, you proved you don't earn it. You're not ready. You don't deserve that. And that is a hard pill to swallow. Been there on more than one occasion. But when you persevere and you break through and you pivot, the universe goes, oh, I see you, boo. Okay, now we playing some big cards. I didn't think you'd be able to handle it, but here we are. Okay, so now I'm going to give you what you loaded in your cart. And then we're going to do it again. Guess what? Now I'm here. My engine blew. I have no car. I get a rental. Car got hit. Connor gets a job, loses the job. I started paying off debt. Well, now I'm the only income in the family, right? Life is throwing me another curveball. How big of balls do you have? Are you ready to go? You're asking for triple diamond pay, which would keep both you and your hubby home and help your team, literally 60 other people. That's big. That's big. Are you ready to play? Or are you going to give up? Are you going to be the 1% or are you going to be average? And now I'm ready to play. Let's go. What's next? You know what I'm saying? So you have to have that same mentality. And it takes a lot of growth, you guys. And it's going to be on a lot smaller scale. But when you get to a place like where I'm at now, it's going to be big. And I know a lot of you guys have gone or are going through a lot of this same stuff where it feels make or break it. And then as soon as it's make or break it, you get hit with something. You get hit with an unexpected bill. You get hit with an injury. You get hit with a car accident. You get hit with a mental illness. You get sick. Are you ready to play? And if the answer is no, that's okay. And you're just not there yet. And you will be eventually. And I truly, wholeheartedly believe in you and I have your back and I'm ready to cry with you. But if you're ready, then let's go. You know what I'm saying? And that's like big, grand scheme of things, right? But it even breaks down to something as simple as our 6 list. Do it tired. Do it anyways, because that's what a leader does. Do it anyways, because that's what the diamond, double diamond, triple diamond leader that you want to be does. And guess what? Not every day is going to be perfect, and you're not going to be able to do it every single day. You can't give 100% of the time, but there will be some days that you will. And guess how freaking good you will feel when everything in your life is going wrong, but you kept your promise to yourself. You did your workout. You drank your water. You spent that time with your kids. You gave undivided attention to your spouse. You completed your 6 list. You enrolled that customer. The euphoria is priceless, right? The euphoria is priceless. The way that you feel is priceless. Okay, so I know I've kept you guys a really long time. So give me like 8 more minutes, and this will be like almost exactly an hour, and then I'll let you all go. Okay, things that you're struggling with: self-discipline, self-motivation, consistently. Okay, consistency is really hard for me because the red in me wants to be like, consistency is a choice. You're basically saying it's not a priority to you, right? The yellow in me is like, girl, same. Are you kidding me? I struggle with self-discipline and consistency every single day. But guess what? Here I am, 3 years in this business, showing up. And every day looks different. And that is why I'm so freaking brutally honest on both Zoom and even on this push. Go look back. Y'all, I don't mark anything off that I don't actually do. You will see days where I didn't get a post up, but I got my stories up and I sent my messages. You will see days where I didn't send a message, but I did so much team value, it's not even funny. And I got a loyal customer who's already in the system, a previous loyal customer who put in a one-time order. Every day looks different. It's not about going pedal to the metal and doing all the things all the time, every single day. It's about doing when you can, what you can, when you can. And if you can send those messages, great, do it, right? And I'm not saying don't complete your 6 list. Like, there's a time when you need to give yourself grace, and there's a time when you need to tell yourself to get the hell over it and do it, right? There's always 2 sides. But only you can tell yourself that, because there are no managers here. And I will not be your babysitter. I will not be your manager. And I absolutely will not stroke your ego. I will be your biggest cheerleader. And I will be the best leader I possibly can for you. And I will do my absolute best to lead you by the best examples that I possibly can. But I'm human too, and I'm not perfect. And neither are you. So don't expect that of yourself. Don't put that expectation on your team. But sometimes there are going to be days where we are so freaking over it and we are so damn exhausted, but we couldn't sleep with ourselves if we didn't send those 60 messages because we said we were going to do that. Then do it. But if you did a million things today and you did so much team value and you followed up with your customers and you got a little customer order in and you got some BVN and you're just like, oh my God, I'm so defeated, I need to go take care of myself, go take a shower and go to bed. Because you're your own boss and you get to decide to do that. Consistency is up to you, and it is also subjective. It's not objective. Consistency to you looks so different than it looks like to me because of where I'm at in my business, where I'm at in life, and the goals that I have. And it's different for you because you're in a different place of life and you have different goals and you have a different freedom of time or schedule than I do, right? So you have to be the owner of your time and of your business and of your paycheck. Because ultimately, that's all that matters. As much as we're here to serve other people and we're here to help others, we can't do that if we're not helping ourselves. And if you're not staying consistent, you're not going to see the paychecks that you want to see. And if you're not staying consistent, neither is your team, right? So that's all up to you. And so there's going to be 2 sides of you too, just like there are to me, where the red in me is like, it's a freaking choice. And the other side of me is like, well, yeah, but it's hard and I'm tired and I have a lot going on, and it's all the excuses, right? And excuses aren't necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes they're fully legitimate, y'all. Like, sometimes there is literally just so much happening. But you have to decide, and you have to ask yourself at the end of the night, could I go to bed with a clear conscience right now, not completing my 6 list? If the answer is yes, then you need self-care and you need to go to bed, period. Because probably if you feel that way and your answer is yes, even if you were to send those 60 messages, you probably won't get good replies at all. But if the answer is no and your grit starts to kick in, but your body's just tired, do it tired. Because I can tell you right now, I can send 60 messages in under 20 minutes. And if you can't, you need to get on a one-on-one Zoom with me right now, and I will show you how I message, because it should not take longer than that. So if messaging is like this thing where you're just like, feel like it's such a big task and you're like, I just don't know how to do it in a short amount of time and it takes me an hour, that's user error. Let's talk about it. That's not a bad thing. But we need to figure out how to become more efficient so that even when you're feeling tired and you don't want to do it, you can tell yourself, can you sacrifice 20 minutes of sleep, right? Because that's when priorities start to kick in. Do you feel me? Okay. Waking up at a decent time, self-discipline, feeling like I should be higher up right now, self-doubt, worry, comparing myself to others. Okay, this is so good. First of all, comparison kills. Y'all, if I compared myself to other people in this company, I probably still wouldn't be here, and I do it all the freaking time. But when you see someone who has what you want, that is just a reminder of your capabilities. Success is infinite. Success is here for everyone. There's a spot for you at whatever rank you choose. Just because someone else fills that spot and someone else ranks up does not mean you can't. And just because they did it twice as quick as you, congratulations. I'm focused right here. I'm focused on my team, on my enrollments, on my personal growth. Because I know the difference between me and that person is personal growth, heart growth, and action. That's it. That's all. Jay Cooper says it all the time. What's the difference between people who have all these trophies and people who don't? Work and time. Period. Period. The end. You will be there. There is a spot for you at that table. And it literally has your name on it. It's already done, remember? It's already done. You are the only thing holding you back from that spot. Not me, not your enrollment, not your network, not the family member who tells you you can't do this, you. And when you start to have these personal breakthroughs and you start to fill your Amazon cart with different things than you have been, and you work on the manifestation and you do your 6 list and you're focusing on your personal health and your health with your family, guess what happens? The promotion comes because it was already done. But you're so focused on the how and not the why, remember? You're so focused on the fact that you haven't gotten there yet and you don't know how to get there, but you're so paralyzed in that you don't see that it's already done for you if you just relax. Just relax. Take a deep breath. You have all the time in the world to get this done. And it will come when you're ready. But I can promise you right now, even if I told you, you have the promotion you want, you have the promotion you want, you have the promotion you want, you would fall tomorrow. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. And I don't mean that when you hit the rank you want, you're going to fall. That's not what I mean. What I'm telling you is that you're not ready, and that's why you're not there yet. I am not ready for triple diamonds. That's why I'm not there yet. And when we have breakthroughs, both personally and as a team, and we start working on all of this stuff together, the consistency, the manifestation, the Amazon cart, the serving versus selling, the inspired action, that is when the breakthrough happens. When we take quitting off the table and we persevere, when we take time off of the table, because time is going to be here and it's going to pass regardless of what you do. So you had a shit day. You had a shit day. Go take a bubble bath, pour some wine, turn on some bomb music, go dance it out, and try again tomorrow. Just like the 75-day hard, y'all. I have freaking struggled and I have failed day after day. I have restarted 6 times now. And now I'm on day 1 again. And God damn it, that feels so defeating. But it's already done. So you get back up. and you try again. It's the same thing every day in your business and every month with your promotions. You so badly overestimate what you can do in 30 days. You're so worried about this month that you can't see that you're double diamond by the end of this year if you stop focusing on this month. You overestimate what you can do right now, and you underestimate the hell out of yourself, what you can accomplish in a year, 5 years, 10 years. Start thinking about the big picture, about how many people you want to serve. I am so focused on this diamond retreat that I have planned for y'all at the end of this year. I am so damn determined, and I know there will be 10 diamonds at the end of this year that I will be taking on a vacation with me. I know it. I know it. That even though I'm not hitting my goals for the last 3 months, and it doesn't look like I'm on track this month, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it's already done. And I'm focusing on me and my health and the health of my team and the health of my family and taking inspired action and the manifestation that I know it's going to come. Hustle, believe, receive. Right? Okay. Waking up at a decent time. Y'all, this is so hard for me. Oh my God. It is so hard. But I'm going back to a couple different things that I want to give you tips on so that maybe this works for you. Number one, put your phone in a different room and have it on the loudest setting that it has. That for me is my bathroom. And I could cringe at the fact that I actually have to get out of my bed and walk to the bathroom to turn my alarm off. But I can tell you that when I do that, I don't ever snooze. But when it's under my pillow plugged in on the wall, I snooze like literally 50 times. Like, is that anybody else or is that just me? Okay, phone in a different room. Number two, 5-second rule. You hear that alarm going off, you hear it, oh, but it'll turn off in like a minute or two if I just like let it go, right? I'll just like let it go and just like pretend it's not happening. No, it's happening. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get your ass out of bed. Get up. I will literally make a voice memo for your alarm that says, hey, Bree, hey, Maddie, hey, C, get your behind up because boss bitches don't sleep in. They don't push snooze. Okay? I will literally make you a voice memo. Whatever it takes for you to get up. I have Lizzo, Good as Hell, play for me because that's a song that makes me happy. It's something that makes me feel excited about my day and it makes me feel good as hell, right? So I'm like up there in the morning, like singing. But when I don't do these things, I don't feel good and I don't get up. So phone in a different room, 5-second rule. The other thing that I actually saw on TikTok last night, and it worked for me this morning, was asking your spirit guides to wake you up at a certain time. And I will send you the TikTok if you guys want. So if you're curious about what I'm talking about, text me spirit guides right now so that I don't forget and you don't forget. And I will send it to you because y'all in shook. Okay. Hopefully that helps. Feeling like I should be higher up right now for me kind of goes into like comparison and keeping your blinders on. No one set an expectation for you or told you when you need to be promoted. No one. No one. Not even Mark freaking Pentecost said that to you. I've never said that to you. So why are you putting that expectation on yourself? Who told you that? It's because you're looking at other people and seeing how quickly they've promoted, so you put that on yourself. Let that shit go. Put it on a piece of paper and burn it if you have to. It's gone. As of tonight, we're washing that away. That's gone. That's gone. This is gone. That's gone. Whatever it is, whatever self-limiting beliefs you have, whatever expectations you have, you should have zero expectations of yourself except for doing what feels good, doing what feels right, working your ass off, and serving. Period. This goddamn fly is killing me. Sorry for my language. I am like on Sailor Mouse tonight. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, I wanted to read this really quick because Brie posted this picture and literally just the description of the book had me shook. Okay, so it's daily self-discipline, daily habits and mindset to build sustainable self-discipline and achieve your goals. Okay, it's by Evan Scott. I'm sure you can find it on Audible, Amazon, whatever. And it's a one sentence description. There's no such thing as good or bad discipline. So you guys hear me talk about all the time, especially when it comes to consistency. It's not consistency. It's not motivation. It's not this. It's not that. It is self-discipline. Well, guess what? There's not good self-discipline and there's not bad self-discipline. There just is self-discipline. So it says there is no such thing as good or bad discipline. There's only a trained discipline and an untrained discipline. Does that make sense? Let me read it again. There is only a trained discipline or an untrained discipline. There either is or there isn't, and there is no in between. And motivation wasn't mentioned for a reason. Motivation comes and goes. Self-discipline, consistency, doing the things is a choice, right? So I want to leave you guys with that tonight. I really hope that this hit home. And I hope y'all have a good night. I love your faces. Thank you so much for hopping on. Thank you so much for actually commenting on the post today and taking the time out of your night to be here. Like, seriously, I just want to like shout you out because it proves to you that you're serious. It proves to me that you're serious. And I am so ready to run with you guys. So let's go.